Welcome,
Thanks, man. It's
dude.
pretty wild.
I just met you like a week ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was actually the day after, or it might have been the day of, I made my X account.
Oh,
'Cause
really? You're that new on
yeah,
X? Dude,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm new to social media, new to airsoft. I think I
Dude,
played airsoft maybe 5 or 6 times.
holy shit. This is
Yeah,
awesome,
I'm
man.
super new.
Well, listen, just to put you at ease, um, I've never played airsoft and I run an airsoft podcast. I played paintball back in the day, okay, back in the 90s. And two of my
Okay.
sons got into airsoft 5 years ago with a good friend that they grew up with. And they got them started into it. And they uh, they came home one day with these cool looking guns, and I thought they went to the range because they looked really like real gun, like the stuff,
Right.
real steel guns we have on this wall right here. And I said, "Oh, what'd you guys do? Go to the range with Johnny?" And they were like, "No, this is airsoft." And I said, "Holy shit, let me see those." And so I was coming out of being paralyzed. I was
Right.
paralyzed with an illness, and for a while. So I needed something to do. And I was like, let me film that stuff and start a YouTube channel on it. And that's what we did 5 years ago. And we started doing unboxings and reviews. And then 2 years into our channel, all the boys got life. Okay.
Oh
They
yeah.
got married, they had kids, they had bought a house, they got promotions at work, all that kind of stuff.
Hell
And
yeah. Good for
so they
them.
stopped, yeah, they stopped doing airsoft. They haven't done airsoft in probably 3 years. And I started doing this podcast to keep the channel going. And it turned into in the beginning, it turned into really good therapy for me,
Right.
talking with people and meeting new people. And I fell in love with it. And I was like, I'm gonna make this is what I'm supposed to do. Like I really found my calling,
So
and
I've
I've been
actually
doing
been
it.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I've actually been listening to your podcast. I think I started on episode 320. I'm up to
Okay.
352 or 3 now.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch up before we did this, but
Oh
didn't quite
shit.
make it.
Well, dude, thank you so much. And
Yeah, man,
yeah, it's yeah,
it's awesome. You're good at what you do, man. It's awesome.
thank you. I not inherently. I truly love people. And uh it was it's been a process, but I didn't know that I love people, to be honest, because coming out of the Marine Corps, I was pretty hard on my kids, and
Yeah,
so I was pretty judgmental, just real strict, and just with the people in general. And over the last 7, 8, 10 years, whatever, uh, got really humbled when I was paralyzed, really humbled. I went through a couple of times of that scene in Forrest Gump where Lieutenant Dan is standing at the top of sitting on the top of the mast of
yeah.
the ship, and the storm's coming through and he's
Oh
yelling
yeah.
at God. That was me laying in bed, shaking my fist at God. And I didn't give up or give in. It was more of a let go. Um, I and I found peace.
No, that's good, man.
I got like all this anger went away when I got right with God. And it was just so anyway, I love people, and I love hearing their stories, their journey in life, and how they got to where they're at now. And so that's when it became a real mission for me to do this podcast, or to keep doing it, I guess. And see where uh, can we relate, do people have these struggles in life, because we all have different struggles
Right.
that we go through depending on how you come up in life and your parents and upbringing, and your high school experience. I remember talking with somebody in this girl in the UK, and I was like, so what is high school like? Like in the UK,
Yeah.
like, do you guys learn the same things we do? Like, do you play sports? Like, is that a big thing? Like, what, so it's been very interesting for me to talk with people all
Oh,
around the
sure.
country and around the world to find out their story and get it out there. So yeah.
But I'm right there with you. I love people as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but so I was a manager in a restaurant. I managed a Longhorn Steakhouse for about 8 years. Well, 7 years. I was a line cook for a year.
Okay.
Man, just getting out and back when people used to talk to each other,
Yeah.
it was nice, man. And the pandemic hit, and everybody wanted to take their anger out on the service industry. So
Oh, I'm sure. Man,
I had to get out of that, man.
what a rough place to be in when that's going on.
Oh, it was interesting, man. It was
Or they're
interesting.
DoorDash drivers. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's even worse. Luckily, Longhorn doesn't do DoorDash.
Yeah.
Steaks do not travel well.
Uh-huh. I've gotten a steak to go before, and it's not the same.
No.
Nope.
The only way for that to work is like I like my steaks medium rare.
Yeah,
So
same.
if I get a steak to go, I'm gonna order it rare so that when I get home I can heat it up and it'll be medium rare.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's really the only way to do it. Otherwise, you're gonna be eating a cold ass steak that's probably overcooked because it sat in the box forever and kept cooking, and it doesn't work.
Hmm. We have this place around, I'm in South Carolina, and the upstate was like what they call it. So about an hour south of North Carolina border.
Yep.
And we
Up in
have this
Simpsonville, right?
yeah, Simpsonville.
Yep.
We have this place restaurant called Saskatoon's, and they serve the exotic kind of meats, like buffalo and antelope.
That's
And
cool.
dude, it's awesome. Now
I'm
you're
gonna have
going to
to check that
spend
out.
$250 for
Oh,
two
sure, yeah.
people. Okay. But the shit is awesome.
That
Okay.
sounds amazing.
And when you walk in, the atmosphere, the whole building is
Hmm.
like a giant log cabin, or one of those uh getaway places you go to for like a hunting club or something.
That's awesome. That is
It's
awesome.
it's so good. But yeah, it's their steaks are amazing.
Yeah, I bet. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. So I'm down in Lexington.
Oh, okay.
I'm also in South Carolina. I work for a pest control company now that's actually based out of Greenville,
Oh shit.
and we do our meetings once a month up there in Greenville. So I'm
Oh,
usually not
dude.
far from Simpsonville.
No, I'm in Greenville every day because I drive Uber, and
Okay.
that's yeah, I'm there all the time. I was actually just today, when I drive Uber like all day, like I do it for
Hmm.
a full day or something, I go all over, man. It just depends,
Oh, sure.
I end up in places I never even knew of in South Carolina. But today I was in like Liberty, Union, Honeypath, and Belton, those kind of places
Okay.
that places you've driven through or by
Yeah, but didn't
to
know
get
where
to
there.
Greenville, but didn't even know. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really like small podunk towns. And but yeah, I'm mostly in the Greenville, downtown Greenville, and just outside of it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
driving.
cool.
Yeah,
Greenville's nice.
yeah, it's nice, dude. We've been here 20 years and love
No
it.
kidding.
Yeah.
We've been here five, a little over five.
Where'd you
Moved to
come from?
Virginia, actually.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so I grew up. I didn't really grow up in Montana. It's just the longest. I lived in one state when I was a kid, so I tell
Yeah.
people I grew up to keep it simple. And my wife grew up in Virginia. Her
Okay.
dad was Air Force, so she was born in Omaha and then moved to Virginia, and grew up there. And I moved out there because my uncle lives out there, and we met and had 4 kids and wanted to buy a house, needed a better cost of living, so we moved to South Carolina.
There you go.
And at the time, I was able to transfer down with my salary from Longhorn.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had the salary of Northern Virginia living in South Carolina, and it was
You were
great.
like, holy shit, we're rich. Okay.
Yeah, it was like self-raised. It was
So you start
great.
having kids, and then you're like, holy shit, diapers are expensive.
Well, we had the four when we moved down.
Oh, okay. Now, did you guys have them close together? Are they all close in age?
So my oldest daughter's 17. She's my stepdaughter, but she's been in my
Okay.
life since she was 3, so she's my daughter.
Gotcha. Yep.
And then we have boy girl twins. They're 11,
Yeah.
and then my youngest daughter's 8.
Okay.
So somewhat,
Good amount of
not too
space in
far.
between.
Yeah,
Yeah. Enough to where you didn't have to figure out who's taking care of. Go
Yeah,
catch that toddler over there. We lost one. Okay,
yeah. It was it was
that's good.
interesting though with the twins. Like I remember
Sure.
my wife took a break from work after a little while. Well, shortly after having them, and I was able to make that work and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. But
Good.
she
Good
was
for you guys.
working at a Subway when they were first born, and all we had was the one stroller, like one kid stroller.
Yeah.
But on the bottom, it had that little net thing where you could
Yep.
keep the diaper bag. So I just put a little baby blanket down there. I put one kid down in the stroller. I put the other one on top and just walked down to Subway for
I
lunch.
love it. Oh, that's awesome.
I walked in and my wife freaked out. She's like, "Where's Kira?" She could, she's the daughter. She's on the bottom. I was like, "She's right here."
Dude, we went to a Waffle House, or not, it wasn't a Waffle House. It was like a waffle restaurant. It was up in
Right.
Northeast Ohio when our kids were really little. Well, actually, we had just moved back to Ohio from California when I got out of the military, and we had already had our son, our first son, out there in Cali, and he's probably 2, 3 months old. So we go to church with with my parents, and uh, they wanted to go to this waffle place after. I think it was called Wally Waffle, and it was in Talmadge, Ohio. And we go there, and I mean, I'm a new dad, okay, like three
Right.
months in. So we're like, oh, and it was a kind of crazy, like super busy place for a Sunday morning. Everyone went there after church to eat and everything. So I pull in, I park, and I'm like, okay, everything's good. Oh, I got to get this and I got to get that, this diaper bag and all kind of shit, because I dropped them off at the door because I had to park all the way in the back. So I get up and they already gotten a table. So I get in there and sit down and my wife goes, "Where's Christian, our baby?" And I go, in the van." I said, "Oh shit. I'll be right back." So I literally forgot him.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, so the joys of of new parenthood.
Oh yeah, we've all done something like that.
So at least you remember to put the other twin in the bottom of the stroller, okay?
It definitely had to go somewhere.
That's crazy. So so how did you get introduced to airsoft, man? Like, where did
So
this
I
come
was
up?
I was working at when I left the restaurant, I went and took a job at a warehouse or a distribution center, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
It's Martin Brower. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but
I haven't.
they're so McDonald's only has one warehouse where they get everything from, or one
Yeah.
distributor, and that's Martin Brower. And so there's one down here in Lexington. I had this girl bartender that worked with me at Longhorn. Her husband worked there. They helped get me the job. And then, I after working there a little bit, I realized that wasn't 20 years old anymore and needed something different. But one of the guys I met there, his son has played at SQ for over 5 years.
No shit.
And his dad went out with him one time. He came back. He told us about it. We're like, hell yeah, let's go play some airsoft.
Yeah.
And I ended up hurting my back at the warehouse, and did get to make it the first couple times I went, but I had everything ordered. I got the gun, got the all that stuff, and finally made it out after I just left the warehouse and called it whatever. But finally made it out and just been playing. We do the once a month skirmish um at SQ every month, and we recently went up to Florence and did the indoor one. Yeah, that
ASAC
was a lot
or
of
whatever it is.
yeah, airsoft
A,
South Carolina.
yeah, they changed it. Yeah, it used to be called Airsoft Columbia, and then they moved to Florence.
Yeah, they bought
Yeah,
I don't know if they bought it or not.
old
They
Harley.
yeah,
Yeah.
moved into the whole Harley
Uh-huh.
dealership
I
now.
had those guys on the podcast. So
Did
I
you?
had them on. Yeah, so we went to the Airsoft Columbia and that when it was still open in Columbia, and
Yeah.
then they had to shut down. And then when they were talking about reopening, one of the guys that I met through our channel and through Airsoft Columbia had him on talking about this prospect location.
Yeah.
And then when they did open, I had that same guy on and another guy on that had his, hands in opening that and building
Okay.
that facility up. So I learned all the behind the scenes and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff when they
that's
bought the
awesome.
facility. Yeah, and I follow him on Instagram. So yeah, it's very cool to see a place grow like that out in an area where there was
Oh yeah,
no major indoor, and it's a pretty big facility from what I
it is.
understand.
Yeah, it's decent size.
Hmm.
But it was cool. We got there. I think it starts at like 10 in the morning or something like that. We got there at like 9:30,
Yeah,
and it was just us, me and my couple buddies that play, and we walked in and we got to talk to the guy, the owner guy, and we met. God, I can't remember their names for the life of me,
yeah,
but there's one other guy that works there every weekend. We met him, and it was awesome. It was a
yeah.
cool experience.
Okay,
I'm not a huge fan of the indoor stuff, but I'll definitely
right.
do it again. But
Okay,
it was
nice.
fun.
I feel
It
like
was
that
definitely fun.
one, as far as indoor stuff goes, I feel like that one is probably big enough to accommodate somebody that's not really,
Yeah.
they want to do the outside stuff, but it's not too small. Like Airsoft Columbia, when it was here, or in Columbia, it was kind of small. It was kind of small. And yeah, every time you turn around, kind of corner somewhere or whatever, there's somebody there, and it was a little cramped for how many people they had, but it did well. Like they had it set up well, the rules were great, there was no confusion, and that's really important for an indoor field.
Oh yeah,
And
I could see
also,
that.
yeah, and the environment there was, they held people accountable, so don't be crazy, don't be stupid, don't be uh you know just have respect on the field,
Yeah.
so and it worked well. They had a really good setup. I did a kind of a promotional video for them when I went down there the first time, and took some pictures of the owner, and then his workers or whatever, the guys that ran it
Yeah.
and stuff. And
That's awesome.
so I was really impressed with it. But that was my first indoor field that I had been to. And I
Which
walked around with they had a riot shield there, and I walked around with a riot shield and I filmed everything on my phone. Our whole channel, every
yeah.
video before the podcast, every video was filmed on a Samsung S21. Like I never bought a real camera. I just used that. And, all of our unboxings, all of our reviews, everything was filmed on that phone.
No
And
kidding.
yeah, no shit, dude. It was like we bought, probably 3 months into our channel, we bought I bought two cameras that were like, I don't know, $500 or $600 a piece. Okay. And I was like, oh yeah, these are gonna be great. They're 4K, blah, 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 and we get them and they were just crap. Okay. Yeah,
Damn.
technically, statistically, or whatever they call it, the the specs were 4K
Right.
if you had optimal everything else. Okay, the
Right.
lighting
I
had to be
gotcha.
perfect, outside, natural lighting. So if we were
Yeah.
outside and it's still, like you're not filming action, movement and stuff, then it's
Yeah.
4K. Go ahead and move in front of the camera. It's blurry as shit. Okay. Or you come inside and it's like daytime. We have windows open. There's natural light coming in the house, but it's still darker than outside.
Yeah.
It's blurry as hell. It's all
That's crazy.
pixelated. And so we sent them back the second day. And I was like, no, we can't do that. I just use my phone. And that's what we did.
Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
stuck with that.
If it's not broke, don't fix it,
I'm telling you. So I walked around there with this riot shield in front of me. I'm filming, in the indoor field at Airsoft Columbia. It was pretty fun, man. Yeah, it was fun. But then,
I
they
gotta
had to
ask,
move.
man. Like
Yeah.
you've been to all these events. You've probably been to countless amount of fields and stuff. How have you never played airsoft?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It is
So
wild.
I've actually only been so I went to Airsoft Columbia, and then I went to 3 events at the same location, GTI in Barnwell, South
Okay.
Carolina,
Okay.
the Government Training Institute. So I've only been to two airsoft fields, or
Huh.
one airsoft field, one event, or one event 3 times.
I gotcha.
So it was the same event each year. It was Stonebreaker that Third Coast Airsoft puts on. Shout out Third Coast Airsoft, man. They got their shit together. I got to be honest, man. Like when I first started doing all this stuff and learned about all these events and airsoft, uh, I was like, I mean, I didn't know. I was ignorant. I didn't know shit. And
Yeah, it's
so,
pretty much where I'm at right now.
yeah, yeah, you're new. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, there is there's a few across the country. There's a few airsoft event hosts or event coordinators, or these companies that put on some really good events. And one of them is
Okay.
Third Coast Airsoft. They have one of the best balances for a 3-day event. So it's like 2.5 day, but Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. I didn't know at the time because it was the only one I had gone to, right? The
Right.
event that they held. I didn't know about all these other event hosts and places that put on events for like just a 1 day or 24 hour or something. But they got their shit together, like for real. It is
I'll have to look more. Like I've looked into them a little bit,
yeah, you're in
but
that area, dude.
I
I'm
don't
telling you.
have I don't have the stuff to play in that type of event yet. You know, eventually I'd like to get there, but
You have camis?
I do.
Okay.
And then I've got
You're
my
good to go then. Because it's really just the only requirement that they're strict on is
mhm,
whatever team you join for that particular event is to
right.
have the right uniform. So
Yeah,
that
but I
the
don't want
other
to go in there with some, crazy underpowered airsoft gun and stuff, you know what I mean?
dude, there's guys that go there for real, that go there with a knife, like a fake knife, like a
Yeah,
plastic knife, rubber knife and stuff,
yeah.
and grenades and
No
smoke
shit.
grenades and shit. And they'll go around like, now it's not common, but it
Right.
does happen.
Yeah.
And they'll still have fun because they go in there. Like there was a guy, one of the guys that my boys told me a story about was some old grizzly salty dude that was like in the military years ago, that was like
Yeah.
uh he went in like stealth. He had a pistol on his, he had a sidearm, and he had a knife, and he would sneak through the trees, and he didn't care about his gear. He had nothing, right? His camis, his
Yeah.
belt, his pistol, and a knife. So it was like, I mean, it's really cool to hear. It's unusual, but
Right.
yeah, you don't have to have a ton of Gucci shit. You don't have to have a five, six, $700 gun to go to these events. My boys, when they first started, they went to SQ. Their first
Hmm.
event that they went to was a 24-hour at SQ, and it was a Vietnam era event, and they had to dress in Vietnam gear, right, camis and
That's
stuff,
cool.
and they had this gun right here. Hold on a second. All right, so check this out.
I can't
Oh,
I
hold
can't
on, hold
see
on.
it through your hiding your unfinished wall back there.
I know, right? So it actually is finished mostly.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So yeah, I got the door back up. I got the wall back up over here. And I got my shelf back up. And
I've never seen it. So every time I didn't mean to cut you off,
yeah, go
but
ahead.
so I spend a lot of time in the truck doing pest control. I drive anywhere from Rock Hill to
Mm,
Columbia to Newberry to Elgin, and I'm usually listening to you and whoever you're talking to at the time, and
yeah.
I don't look at the phone or anything. So I've never had a
Oh,
chance
right.
to look.
It's all the audio stuff. You don't really get to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I have that. So you've heard story about that flag.
Yep.
Okay. Um, and then the light's out right now, but I'm gonna fix that. That's the one that came with the flag the guy sent me. Okay. So
Right.
this one right here, this our trifecta symbol. And
Hmm.
when it's lit up, it has an LED in it. When it's lit up, it says join the trifaction underneath it. And
That's
then
awesome.
this is next to it is a Funko Pop. It's some kind of collectible thing that my daughter and her husband are into. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're really cool. But this one is the Ohio State Buckeyes helmet, and above it is uh, Marcus from Gears of War, the video
Nice.
game Gears of War.
Yeah.
And then this picture underneath the flag over here, that's next to that is the raising the flag at Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
And then over here on this wall, it used to be underneath the flag, but I moved it. This is the Constitution that is
Okay.
framed, and that was given to us by the same couple or the same guy that gave me my nickname E-Rock. So I used to have a business team 25 years ago, and my business partner, uh, he got our business team to go together and order this thing. So it's an authentic looking copy of the Constitution of the United States, where it's all wrinkly and stuff.
Yeah, that's
And they,
badass, man.
oh, dude, it's so badass. And
Yeah.
they had it framed, and they presented it to us before we moved here. We had already planned to move here from Northeast Ohio to South Carolina, and this was one of our going away presents from our business team.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Really sentimental. So it's very cool. But yeah, I do have the wall put up and all my stuff hanging up there again. And so nothing too special, just it does look cool. It's a cool backdrop.
Yeah, it looks good.
But this is the so they had to go to this Vietnam event, and they had to have M16
Okay.
A1s from Vietnam era if you were on that faction. Now, if you were on the
Yeah,
Viet Cong, you had to have the AKs and the black pajamas.
that's
Okay.
awesome.
Dude, SQ was awesome back in the day. Now, soon after they went to that event, SQ had closed, not really closed, but they stopped doing events. They had
Okay.
some family stuff going on, right? And they couldn't hold events for probably a good year, year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so now this one I've had signed by some people that
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
yeah, so this down here, I took this to an event
Hmm.
uh uh in Georgia, Sugar Hill, Georgia, I think it was, where SS Airsoft was. It's a storefront, and they used to have an indoor field. They've
Okay.
since moved, but this was probably 2, 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. So this signature here that says Ghost underneath,
Hmm.
this is signed by Aaron. I can't remember his last name. um, but Aaron signed this. He is he's a Marine Corps veteran. He was in Spec Ops. Okay. He went in about 10 years after I did. All right.
Okay.
So he's about 10 years younger. He is the character in the game Call of Duty. He's Ghost.
Really?
So the iconic character.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that, not the voice actor,
Right.
he's the character that they actually do the mocap, the motion capture from.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
So he's been in the video game. He's been in the show on Amazon Prime called Terminal List. He's one of the spec operators in the tunnels with the
I've never
Navy
seen that show.
SEALs. Okay. And he's got the service dog with him and stuff like that. That's his real service dog that he has in real life.
No
Okay.
shit.
And in Call of Duty as well. That one, there's scenes in there. All the kids that are listening to this, anyone that plays Call of Duty, y'all know who Ghost is, okay? But it's Jammer Actual is his Instagram name. So I had him, he was at this event. So I had him sign this, talk to him for a
Hell
minute.
yeah.
This one up here is Alex Zedra is her screen name. She's really big on social media, big on YouTube, million subs
Okay.
and whatever on YouTube. And so she's really cool. She's actually here in South Carolina. Her and her husband live over by Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
Alex, if you ever hear this video or podcast, I doubt you will, but if you do, I've invited you onto the podcast numerous times. You probably don't get the message because it goes to requests on Instagram, but I'd love to have you on and talk to you. But she signed this as well. I got to meet her and her husband, Brian. So they signed it. And then Sandy Cheeks is
Yeah.
he signed this here. He is a Marine Corps veteran. He was there at the event, and I've had him on the podcast. He's really cool. And then his wife, I had her on the podcast. Her nickname is Spooky. So they all signed it for us. But anyway,
That's
this is
awesome.
the M16A2 or A1 that my boys had to take to their very first Milsim event at SQ that you're talking about. So
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you've been there, man.
They're actually doing
Yeah, they
the
just started
air
the past
air
year.
the Airsoft Organization of South Carolina is
Yeah.
having their 15-year anniversary game at
Okay.
SU,
Oh
and
shit, they're having it there.
it's a 2-day event.
That's
Well, so
awesome.
it starts Saturday morning
Yeah.
and then goes to like 9 o'clock Saturday night,
Okay.
and then picks up again Sunday morning. But me and the guys we're gonna go out there, and I'm gonna camp the whole weekend. I don't know if they're gonna camp. I think they're bailing on me,
They
which
get an Airbnb,
if they watch this, I am highly disappointed. But
right? Hey, look, don't leave your buddy hanging. Come
yeah,
on
no,
now.
I mean, and I'm only 10 minutes from SQ, so I could come home and shower, but I got my tent. I'm gonna go out there, string up my hammock, and just relax for the weekend.
Dude,
I'm
good for
excited.
you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I even offered to bring the guys' tent. So I was like, I got a 2-man tent, I got a 4-man tent, an 8-man tent, a 12-man tent. Let's go.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, me and the kids and the wife, big campers. We do a lot of the state parks
Okay.
and stuff here in South Carolina.
Yeah.
We've been to, we're trying to go to all of them. So
Mm.
we've been to 25 of them out of the 41.
Whoa.
But
Dude, that's
yeah,
awesome.
oh yeah, man, it's a blast. And the kids love it, and they're outside and away from the fucking screens and all that shit.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I'm telling you, kids need that today.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
For real. That is awesome. That's how
Yeah,
I
it's a
grew up. Yeah.
blast. Yeah, same.
That was our vacations. My parents were kind of poor. Like my dad had to get creative with vacations. We
Yeah.
couldn't I never went to a beach like the ocean because
Hmm.
I grew up in Northeast Ohio, and we went to Lake Erie. You can call that's what we called the beach
Yeah.
until I knew, oh, that's a lake. Okay, the
Right.
beach is the ocean. So um but it's still fun. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, we grew up going to West Virginia, going to Pennsylvania. We went into the woods and
Hmm.
camped. It was
Yeah.
like the cheapest vacations you could do. You brought your tools to cut down some stuff, twigs and stuff to make a fire and roast marshmallows. And that was probably the most memorable experience was once you get set up at camp and you get settled in, right, is let's work on a fire, right? Like
Yeah.
you're prepping.
Oh yeah.
So you got to prep a couple hours, like out in the woods. Did it rain the day before? Because good luck. Okay,
Yeah, no
you're
kidding.
going to be chopping, shaving some kind of shavings or whatever for kindling and all kind of stuff. So I mean, it took a couple hours to get the fire pit set up, and it was a really cool thing to work towards. Where built anticipation once the lights start going down and the now up north we had the fireflies would come out,
Yep.
okay,
Oh yeah.
like a ton of them in the woods, and those start coming out at dusk, and so that those are going off, and then you hear the crickets and the all the chirping and the
Oh, it's
all that kind
amazing.
of stuff. It just sets the tone. And as a kid, you're looking forward to this kind of thing. Like
Oh
the
yeah. When we were
kids,
living up in Virginia, my kids used to go outside with the little mason jars and they'd catch
yes,
lightning bugs and stuff. And yeah, they did all that.
yeah, catch the lightning bugs,
But
man.
I'll tell you, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I have a group of friends up in Virginia. We used to go on a kayaking trip every year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we took a 4-day trip down the Rappahannock with all of our gear on our kayaks, our tents, hammocks, and we just camped on the side of the river for a couple days.
Yeah.
And the first night we found this little valley on the side of the river, just set up our tents and everything. We're fishing. And it's like just sun's just starting to go down, so it's dusk or whatever it's called. And you know what mayflies are?
No.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the sun gets like damn near blacked out by this just huge swarm of flies that just come across like that. But they're big and they got big wings and they mate in air and they gather and they just go and they were just going across probably, I mean, I'm 6'2" and they were just above my head flying over this little view where we could see right out onto the river. and it just like it almost blacked out the sun, man. It was like a National Geographic moment. It was insane. And they're just coming across, and then it was a good probably 30 seconds to a minute that we just sat and watched this happen because we didn't know what mayflies were at the time. We had to Google it afterwards, and then it stopped for probably 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, there's just this thick layer of dead mayflies coming across the top of the water because
Whoa.
they mate. I may be saying this wrong. I'm sure someone out there is probably going to correct me,
Yeah.
but they mate, and I don't think they die. I think they fight while they're
Okay.
mating, if I remember right. But they kill each other.
Yeah.
And they just float around the water, and all these fish just started coming up out of nowhere, and it was insane, man. But
That is wild.
that was such a cool trip. I'll never forget that trip till the day I die. It was amazing.
Okay.
Seen
So,
bald eagles fly down, and it was awesome.
dude, that is, yeah, those are memorable. Like nature is awesome. It
Oh
really
yeah,
is.
oh
And
yeah,
so I do. Okay. So I didn't know that they were called this, but I have seen them and, flying around.
yeah. And that's the thing. Most people have seen them, but nobody ever knows what they are.
Right. So I just looked them up. I'm going to share the screen for you and anyone else that's
Oh yeah, there you
watching.
go.
Yeah. So if you're watching the video, you'll see these images. If you're not watching, if you're driving and listening to the audio, like a lot of people do, when you get a chance, just go look up Mayfly. Okay. Um, but yeah,
So
they're pretty big, man. Their wings are
yeah,
huge.
yeah, they are a decent size, and like those swarms and stuff,
Look at
man.
this.
Like they were coming, they were just. Damn, I'm telling you, man, damn near blocked out the sun as it was setting. It was insane. It was so cool to see.
Look how thick it is, like these
Yep.
swarms that happen. That is crazy. Yeah, and then they die. Look, they're
Yep.
covered on these there's like a whole layer on these cars. They're
Yep.
all dead.
They just die.
Oh
But they
my
also,
gosh.
if I remember right, they drop their eggs into the water.
Okay.
So their eggs hatch in the water,
Whoa.
and then they come up, and then they're flies.
It's amazing how intricate the just nature is and the ecosystem and how
Oh yeah.
everything's feeds something. There's always something on this earth that will benefit something else,
Oh yeah.
even
Always.
in its death. Like that,
Yep.
that is, everything has a purpose.
100%.
It's awesome, man. I love to learn stuff like that and see how magnificent it is, really, you know.
Yeah. Those moments in life, man. I mean, that's probably once in a lifetime thing that I saw. Like I don't know if I'll ever see that again. At least not
Yeah,
in that setting, you know? Like it was insane.
that's pretty cool, man. Well, I got your Twitter, your X pulled up here, and so I want to ask you about this shotgun. Is this the new shotgun you got, or
It is.
okay?
It's nothing fancy. It's just a double eagle tri-shot shotgun. I unfortunately have to get all my airsoft stuff off of Amazon because this is all pretty much thanks to the company I work for.
Yeah,
Now it's incentives for us, pest control technicians. So I did the work, but they offer the incentives and stuff.
sure.
But I get Amazon gift cards.
There you go.
So unfortunately,
Look, there's no
I'd much
shame. There's no shame when you're starting out in airsoft. There's no shame in buying
no,
yourself off
and
Amazon.
I
Like
agree with you.
100%.
But I would much rather go through like just go to SQ and throw
Yeah,
the money towards that and
right.
but you do the best with what you got, right?
That's exactly right. Yep. You got some pistols here. Now, have you used these on the field?
That's just one. I painted that.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, I mean
Did you hand paint this?
I did.
What?
Yeah. And it's
That
just
is
acrylic
awesome.
paint and I do use it. I wouldn't recommend that pistol to anybody. It's only like $30. It's a AEP
Yeah.
and it is garbage.
Yeah. Most of the AP, we got one AP and it might have been the same one, to be honest. We got it in a mystery box and
Okay.
And it was when we got it, it was probably it was a few months into our channel. So we had already gotten a lot of, mystery boxes, whatever to unbox. So when we had never gotten one of these, and all of them were, gas blowback pistols. So, and like CO2 and stuff.
Yeah, so
So when we got this thing, I was like, bro, this is cool. What? An
yeah, it sounds
electric
cool, right?
pistol? And then we started shooting, and I was like, it's not that cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I play with my wife. Just recently went back to work after like 11 years,
Hmm.
and I really wanted to play airsoft. So I play on a very strict budget. So
Sure.
everything I use is spring. I got the sniper rifle down there on the bottom.
Hmm.
That was on sale for, I had a $200 limit. That was for the sniper rifle, magazines, gear, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of Goodwills, a lot of Salvation Armies. I was able to get that on e-bike it was on sale for $70.
Yeah.
I had to get it up to 150 so that I didn't have to pay their insane shipping.
Oh,
That's
right.
the only
Well,
one I
yeah,
got
they're
on.
in Cali. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The rest of the stuff is all Amazon. But that's a Springer shotgun. I actually hand painted that one too.
Oh, really? That
Yeah,
looks cool, man.
thanks, man.
It's good
I
design.
ended up erasing it. 'Cause my daughter is real big. My oldest daughter, she's real big into just she doesn't want to be a tattoo artist, but she's real big into drawing them, and she's
Gotcha.
really good. So I erased it, and I was like, look, I want you to tattoo my shotgun. She's gonna do that for me. So I wiped all that off.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool, man.
Dude, I love, so anyone that's just listening, I've got his X pulled up, and I'm clicking on this picture that on this wall, you got your gun wall, you got your sniper rifle up top, you got your shotgun below, and you've got some what looks like vinyl
Yep.
album covers up here on the left. You've got some pennants. One is a Baltimore Ravens pennant and a, Pabst Blue Ribbon pennant hanging above
Yep.
it. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about just in this one picture. All right. So first off, how did you come up with Smithers?
That's actually my last name.
Okay.
So
Simple.
when
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. People have called me Smithers for years. Me, my brothers, my sisters, everybody's Smithers.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're in South Carolina. How the heck did you become a Baltimore Ravens fan?
So
Bro, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. We're Browns fans. You are the old school Browns team, just so you know. Okay. So
we all make bad decisions at times, man. I'm sorry. But so I was born, I'm not a diehard football fan.
yeah,
Um, but I was born in Maryland. I grew up doing uh, we were pretty poor growing up. We didn't have a lot. So most of my stuff was through
same.
thrift stores and stuff. But
Yep.
every now and then I'd get the chance. I'd get to go snowboarding, or I grew up skateboarding because that's damn near free is after you get the skateboard.
Right.
But I just really got into X Games and stuff like that. And as I got older, I was probably, damn, I don't know, 17, played my first Madden game. And I picked the Ravens. I didn't know anything about football at this time. I
Yeah.
picked the Ravens because I was born in Bethesda, Maryland, and it just stuck. So people always ask me like, "Who do you root for in the NFL?" I was like, I don't care about the NFL.
Right.
So finally, I was just like, you know what, the Ravens.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis is a beast. Terrell Suggs, Todd Heap, but I couldn't tell you who plays for him now. I got a Ray Lewis jersey, I'll wear it. I got a Holy Tuck shirt with him kicking them, best kicker in the NFL right there.
Yeah.
And I guess he still plays, so I know one.
It's funny how uh, when you go to work, right,
Hmm.
and you're hanging out with these guys, and everyone's talking about football around football season, and they ask you, "Oh, who's your team? Who's your player? Who's this?"
Yeah.
Like, uh, okay, you name a team, and then, oh yeah, this guy. They name a player. This happened to me numerous times. They'll name a player. I'm like, yeah, no, don't know him. And they're like, what? You don't know that's your team? I'm like, bro, I like the game of football. I played football. All my boys, I played football when I started football when I was in fourth grade and played through high school and stuff. So I love playing. I love watching the game as
Mhm.
a social event, like with
Right.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not big into stats. I'm not big into players. I have no effing clue who is the main quarterback on my favorite team. I really don't know. Okay. So quit asking. Like
Right.
I just, and I'm not embarrassed by it. I used to be because when I first got out of the military and I went to my first factory, all these guys, that's, they talk about that, all this stuff, whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm the odd guy out. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I like Ohio State. I grew up in Cleveland, like I like Cleveland Browns. I mean, I don't, oh, this guy. No, I don't know shit. And,
But what's insane is they'll bring up stats from like the 60s, 70s, and you're like, how the hell am I supposed to know that?
oh,
Why do you
dude,
know that?
I took a whole month. I really took a whole month. This is back in the mid 90s, late 90s. I took a whole month and I watched ESPN, no shit, every day against my will. I did not want to. I was not interested in it. Okay. It's just not my thing. It's not,
Yeah,
stats and
catching
numbers
up
and
on
following
Sports
these. No,
Center.
it's not my thing. So I'm watching it every day just so I could be in the conversation at work, like fit in.
Right,
And after that month, it worked. I knew talking to, it just was deflating because I'm like, this is like, I'm not interested. Why am I doing this? Okay.
right.
This ain't me. And I just stopped doing it. I was like, nah, man. I would still have fun talking with the guys and big plays like on a weekend of a game that I followed or something, I would know, but it wasn't, I was just like, dude, I'm not trying to, no, I'm not doing this anymore. It's not me, and I'm going to be fake if I keep doing it. So, yeah, I'm the same way, man. But
Yeah,
I totally get what you're saying though. When you have somebody asking you constantly, "Oh, who's your team?" Like
yeah.
if you keep saying, "Oh, I don't have a team," like it just,
There,
So
there was a
okay,
while there. I would
fine,
just,
I'll pick somebody.
yeah.
Okay,
But I just look at him and I'd be like, all right, well, who do you like better, Tony Hawk or Bob Burnquist? They'll be like, who?
yeah,
Like,
they have no clue.
exactly.
Like
Like, come
what?
on.
Skateboarding? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man. So did you play the Tony Hawk games, by the way?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Well, for back in the day, I did. I had the 64,
Yep.
played that, what was it, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Pro skater, man.
And I, I've always been an Xbox guy. I
Yeah,
know you're
same.
an Xbox guy, well, and
Yep.
PC. But I tried the skate games and I tried the other ones, and they were just never had the same feel as
No,
the old school Tony Hawk. And
no.
I never played the remastered one because at that point I was like, you know what, if I'm not playing it on the 64, I don't want to play it.
Yeah, and also, yeah, because there's not that nostalgia. It's not going to have the same feel. And
Yeah,
I mean, remastered, there's nothing really that new. There might be a couple things here and there, but it's nothing majorly new. So it's just better graphics and colors and
right.
whatever. So I don't want to replay it. If yeah,
And
I
and
did
and
some.
honestly, like a game like that, I want it to be old. I want it to look
Yeah,
old. I want
yeah.
it to look like it used to. I don't want it to be new.
Exactly. Yeah, the nostalgia of it is having the same feel, look,
Yeah.
sound, feel, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And if it's not, then it's not the same.
Yeah.
So you
Agreed.
don't have those same feelings. But well, what about these album covers here? Johnny Horton's greatest hits. Who's this other one?
It's
Um,
Red Sovine,
okay. And then Marty
Marty
Robbins.
Robbins. Yep.
I got to be honest, man. I hate to say this. I've never heard of any of these guys.
Really? I figured
Yeah.
you probably would have. I mean, you're a little bit older than I am.
Yeah, I'm 53.
I'm,
So,
I'm 37, so you got me by a little bit.
oh, for sure. My parents, I got to be honest though, my parents were really strict when I was growing up. They didn't listen to music
Okay.
unless it was like church music.
I got
So I grew up in a really strict Christian household
you.
from a young age. And probably when I was like 8 or 10, they joined a church that was very strict on a lot of things, dress, like your clothes and stuff, and music. Music was a big thing. So if it wasn't Christian music, then it
Yeah.
was Satan music. Okay, like, and that's pretty much how it was. So,
My
um,
grandma was that way.
oh
She's
yeah,
diehard Seventh-day Adventist.
yeah. And my parents, my parents were well. I was brought up Catholic, but they got into this church that was like based on the Catholic religion as far as the belief system,
Hmm.
but like to the next level of it was almost like the Amish. Like Amish are real kind of there's a plethora of Amish, communities up in the Northeast Ohio area
Right.
and Southern Ohio. And so it felt like that kind of influence, I guess. So the
Okay.
women in this church wore like bonnets, okay, on their head to cover their head,
Huh.
like their hair and stuff. They would roll their hair up into a bun. Um, Guys were not allowed to wear Levi's jeans or any kind of jeans like that that had the I know this uh um I don't know if I've ever talked about this on a podcast, but this is how strict it was. Okay, guys were not allowed to wear jeans because, and they had classes on this to explain it. Okay,
Right.
uh, you weren't allowed to wear jeans where the pockets were angled because when you put your hands into the pockets, it points towards your crotch. So that is a sexual kind of thing. So you had to wear like Dockers or Dickies or something where the
Yeah, that's
work
pretty
pants were
wild.
straight. Okay, the pockets were straight down. Yeah, oh yeah, dude,
That's
it was
insane.
crazy. And we would the youth group, they were very strict on keeping the guys and the girls separate. And
Right.
then we would go on runs, we would run. Like they got all of our energy out, okay? Because they knew how
Okay.
teenage boys were. So we worked in the community around these houses and stuff and did community work. So like if somebody's house is in the church, whatever needed fixed, then the
Yeah.
youth group fixed it. They would buy the
Oh,
supplies
that's
and we
awesome.
it's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is awesome. And
Would have
so
been
we would
nice if you
fix
could
their
wear Levi
driveway,
jeans
we'd
while you were
fix their
doing it.
deck. Yeah, and you learned a ton of skills. But yeah, don't listen to music, and don't wear jeans. But so I learned a lot of great skills. I'm not putting it down. It was one of the stepping stones that led me into the Marine Corps, which I really
Yeah.
loved. And but it built a lot of character, man.
Oh, I'm
Honestly,
sure.
yeah, for sure. So, but as far as the music stuff goes, I was very, very ignorant to a lot of music until I
Gotcha.
was like 16, 17, and like 1986, 87. I started rebelling, okay, because I got tired of that for like
Right.
5 or 6 years of my childhood. And so I started sneaking and listening to Rat, and I wanted the heavy stuff
Yeah.
because I was going all in on the rebelling.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I was doing the AC/DC and the Rat and the Van Halen and the Quiet Riot. Okay. So a lot of these other bands like what you got here, Johnny Horton and these other guys. Yeah, I don't know.
They're old, old, old,
Okay.
like 50s
50s,
old. Yeah.
60s.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, but Johnny Horton, so I'm not a big fan of country music. I know it looks like I am, but I am not.
Yeah.
I got enough of that in Montana. I
Your
can
voice
pay
sounds
enough.
like you could be a great country singer, bro.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not.
Yeah, you should. Come on now. Not the new country that's all pop, okay? No, like the old school real country.
So Johnny Horton, I love Johnny Horton because all of his songs they're all stories. He tells a story in every song. Like one of
Okay.
my favorite is Sink the Bismarck, and it's all
Mm.
about that the ship, the Bismarck, and great song. And then my dad actually got me into Marty Robbins. He has a song called El Paso, which is phenomenal about a Mexican woman that he meets, and he ends up getting shot on his horse trying to go back and see her. And then Red Sovine, he's just got some weird, funny music. But I love the 50s music, man. It's I grew up listening to classic rock. My mom was a huge Foreigner fan.
Oh, okay.
My dad likes the older stuff. He loves the Temptations and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I was probably, man, I don't know, 24 when I really got into like the 50s music stuff. I mean, it's great, man. Frank Sinatra, Bobby Darin.
Oh, dude, I love Frank Sinatra. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Bobby Darin, I mean, he's just pretty similar to Frank Sinatra. But yeah, I'll sit out in the garage and, refinish a old chair or some shit, just jamming out the 50s music. And
Yeah.
everyone looks at me funny as hell when they walk by. But
My mom, her favorite singer before they got like into that church and stuff was Perry Como.
I don't know who that is.
Perry Como, yeah, from the 50s. He's got some iconic songs. I'll show you here. Let's see. He was pretty popular in the 50s. He's got that, he sounds a lot like Frank Sinatra, I think.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Como, yeah. Here, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up on the screen for you.
Yeah.
Um, so let's see what I can't remember his most popular song, but we'll find it here. Christmas, let's see. I know this one, Fly Me to, I know you've heard this one.
Yeah, I've heard this song.
Fly Me
I
to the
might have just
Moon.
not known it was him.
Yeah, you didn't know it was him. Yeah, that's pretty common. All right, hang on a second. I'll get this set up to where you can hear it through the
All right.
screen there or through your headset.
Oh yeah, it's a great song.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars.
Yeah, I could just sit in the garage, listen to this with a glass of whiskey, and just
Oh
relax.
yeah. Yeah, and I could too, man. I really probably I want to say 10 years ago,
Hmm.
I started getting into 50s music.
Okay,
I was like, oh my God, this stuff is great, dude.
so relaxing, man.
Yeah.
But some of it, there's some
Yeah,
weird ass 50 songs out there.
yeah.
Have you ever heard Rubber Biscuit?
It sounds really familiar. I wonder if
That
it's the
is
one I'm thinking of.
it is hilarious, but it's
Somebody
a
told me about
weird
that.
song.
It's such a weird song. Uh, okay,
I
Biscuit.
forget the name of the band that sings it,
We're gonna find it. We're
or
gonna
the
find it.
group, or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it. But
we're gonna find it because I swear somebody told me about this, and I was like, I listened to it, and I was like, what the hell are they singing about? What is going on, bro? I think this is it right here. Let's see.
yeah,
What is he doing?
Do that again.
I mean, this is very popular. Like, I think this was like this carried over into the 60s because you heard a lot of like in Vietnam movies and the Vietnam War stuff. This was played, and it's such a weird kind of song. Yeah.
it's so strange. But I love finding those weird old songs too.
Yeah.
Like put the smile on my face.
Right. That's
Hey,
cool,
there is
man.
something I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
The most recent podcast I listened to of yours, you had just had Hazard on, and he
Yeah.
was putting on his first event
Yep.
up in New York, I
Yep.
believe.
Hmm.
And it sounds really cool, but the amount of objectives and stuff he was talking about doing, like for the players to do,
Yeah.
just sounds overwhelming.
Yeah.
Is
Like too much.
is that most milsims? Are they like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
So the event he's putting on, shout out Hazard, by the way. The event he's putting on is geared Now it's really geared for the experienced meal simmer, but
Okay.
it is set up the way it's set up. A new person like yourself
Hmm.
could go on there, go to the event, and still have a great time. Okay, because all those objectives he was talking about, all these different things that you could do in the game or whatever things
Yeah.
they're gonna pop up spontaneously.
So much.
Yeah, it was a lot. Those are not required. Those are just options
I
that
gotcha.
yeah. So uh there's a lot of event coordinators that do this because people that have been playing milsims for a long time,
Hmm.
uh, they'll go to the same milsim or multiple milsims throughout the year, right? And they'll go to the same one every year for like 10 years. Okay. And so if
Okay.
you just go, you got all your gear, you've already got everything, right? You
Yeah.
got your gun set up, tuned in, you got all your equipment, you got your camis, you got your war belt set up exactly how you want. Like everything is set. And that's, getting all that stuff built up is the excitement of going to a milsim. And so after your first or second milsim, you're already kind of set. So
Right.
when that happens, and these guys go to multiple milsims or the same one every year, if nothing changes in that milsim, it will get repetitive. It will get boring.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Sure. So you'll get used to the objectives. You'll get used to, like, once you get everything is like normalized for you,
Hmm.
and you're conditioned to it, then like, oh, okay, I got that. Yep. I know what to do here. It's not all new and fresh and like,
Yeah.
whoa
Not as
and
exciting.
wow and like I have been for the past 5 years with airsoft. Um it is it gets routine. And so a lot of event coordinators will put in these really cool objectives, like side objectives, just like in a
Okay.
video game where
Right.
it's optional. Okay, like an
Yeah.
open world video game, you can go do this if you want. It might take 3 different missions to complete this one thing or whatever, this side mission, but you don't have to. And you're not going to get penalized if you don't do it. And that's what Hazard is doing. He's putting options in there to the event to really accommodate, to get rid of the stalemates. Okay.
Okay.
Because what happens in a big mill sim, as an example, like Stonebreaker,
Hmm.
uh, great event, awesome event host with Third Coast Airsoft, like I was talking earlier. But there was 700 people at the last one that I went to, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. So, and it grows every year. Okay, there's probably close to probably 800 people last year. I don't know, but um, and the field, the event place where they're at, the AO is giant. It's at GTI, like I said, but there sometimes there's not enough side objectives to do for these guys to kind of get pulled away from the main fighting, force on force thing where
Yeah.
they fight. There's like this main building in the middle where everyone ends up, and that's where they just kind of stay, right?
Okay.
And so, and what Third Coast has done, they do a really good job. They have their cadre, so their event court, their employees, their guys that
Yeah.
that help run the event, the refs and all that kind of stuff. They go out there and they'll be like a separate faction, and they'll pull some guys away and be like, hey, let's go do this side mission, right? It's like a secret
That's cool.
operative, it's kind of like a black ops mission,
Yeah.
so they'll grab 5, 10 guys and go off and do this thing. The guys that they have a helicopter there that you can ride. Okay, I'm sure you've seen these videos.
I
Um,
I haven't seen really
oh, you
any.
need to look it up, dude.
I will.
Oh,
I wrote it down.
you
It,
can go full on military, Navy SEAL, Spec Ops operator on the field kind of shit. I'm not kidding, man. Like, you want to
I,
ride a helicopter, like a little bird, right?
yeah.
Like you see in the movies. You
Right.
want to ride that with your feet on the skids, leaning out with a harness on you, or a safety thing
Yeah.
on you, and you're shooting down on guys. Yeah, go look up Airsoft Alphonse. He is
That's
a master at
Alphonse.
shooting. Yeah, Airsoft Alphonse. He is a master at the machine gun at GTI from the helicopter. It is
All right.
freaking amazing. So and what they'll do is if you get in a group and get on the helicopter. So the helicopter goes around, I think it's like 10 minutes. It'll take you around. You pay an extra ticket. It's a separate ticket to do that.
Makes sense.
But if you want to do that and you go to the event and you get on the helicopter and you're like, bah, you're blasting people from up in the air. Okay. It's freaking amazing. And so then when the helicopter lands, it doesn't land where where it picked you up. It lands in the back, like way in the back of the field. So when they get off, what they started doing was Third Coast Airsoft. They started taking those guys that got off the helicopter and they take them onto a separate mission. Like I was talking, like the Black Ops
Yeah.
mission. Okay, hey, come on with us. We're going to go on this secret mission. So it breaks up a lot of the monotony of or the repetition of the force on force. Just fighting in this one building.
Right.
And so, and a lot of these event coordinators that are good at putting on these events, they'll do that. They'll add objectives in, they'll add separate things in where they can
It does
do.
sound pretty badass.
Yeah. But if you're new and you heard that podcast and you're hearing all these different things he's adding, you're going, holy shit. Like, how can I can't keep track
Yeah.
of all
I
that.
was thinking that's
Yeah.
insane.
No, it's yeah, don't worry about that stuff. Those are when you get there to those events, like when he
Yeah.
hosts that, all you got to do is follow your squad
Right.
on that one particular mission you're doing, whatever it is. Okay. If it's a side mission, you're going to go, okay, they'll brief you on it. Hey, look,
Right.
we're going to go take this, we're going to try to get to this container and defuse the bomb and bring it back to us. And then we'll get, 50 points for the team. Okay. And you're like, okay. So, and yeah, and take 8 guys and go.
I got you.
So it's going to be very exciting and you won't be confused as to what's going on.
And
There,
I didn't think I would be. It's
yeah.
just listening to it, sitting in the truck.
Oh, sure.
I was like, God damn, man.
Like
What
what?
the hell are you doing?
Like how many things we got to do in this thing? What the hell?
I do. I want to do a mill sim eventually.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just trying to. So I've got, where the hell did I put them? I don't know what I did with them. I've got a couple patches.
Oh, okay. Have you found out how important patches are in airsoft?
Not really, no.
Oh,
But
okay,
I
okay.
like them. They're fun.
Well, I won't tell you. I'll just let you find out. Okay. It's people in airsoft love
Oh,
patches. It is their most favorite thing besides their guns.
so I've got, they were on my shirt. Got these two,
There you
the
go. Yep.
SQ up top, and
Yep.
then Airsoft South Carolina up in Florence here.
Yep.
The 2 places we went, and then I got our squad has our own little patch, the weekend benders.
Oh shit.
And
Y'all, you have your own patch already?
Yep.
Oh, dude. Oh, you're ready for a mill sim. Okay. You got a
But I mean,
patch, you're ready.
we're not out there like giving out patches, and we don't have.
No, it doesn't
we have
matter.
2
You
guys
got a
that are out
team
there,
together and you got your own patch. You're ready to go with the big boys, okay?
right now, I want to go see all the fields. I want to go
Yeah.
to every field in South Carolina.
Okay.
And then eventually, my son, the twins, they turned 12 October 29th,
Okay.
and he really wants to go and try airsoft. So I'm saving up, and I want to get him the right gear, and I want to make sure he's competitive when he gets out there. So,
Right.
and if he hates it, I want to make sure to get him a gun I can use, and
You selfish bastard. What? No,
So,
that's smart. That's very
yeah,
smart.
get him a little M4, a little
Yeah,
AEG
yeah.
or something, and
Yep.
I'd start taking him out with me, and that's what I posted a message thing on the, what is it, Twitter X,
Yeah.
and I was like, new to airsoft, new to social media,
Yep.
not posting videos. I'm looking forward to posting pictures. Just, get the little man out there getting his first patch, and
Yep.
us out there exploring fields and meeting new people, and it's gonna be awesome, man. And I have to correct myself. I have seen some videos
Sure.
Not really a milsim. When
Just the
we,
cheater, all the stuff that's pushed, all the cheater
yeah,
videos.
and
Yeah.
it's so like exhausting.
It's exhausting. That's a great word for it. It really is. I felt the same way when I first started in this endeavor.
Yeah,
When I would see those videos that would pop up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, I'll click on this. Oh, it's airsoft, you know, and then it's like, and then they start fighting, and I'm
yeah.
like, what the hell? Like,
You're
why
like,
is this
I don't
pushed?
want to see that shit.
No,
I don't care.
bro. I was like, good Lord. Okay. So yeah, same.
And like, don't get me wrong, I've had moments. I don't think they ever cheated, but there was one particular moment. I was on. I don't know if you walked through SQ and seen the field.
I have
But
not.
they have an area called the trenches, and it's just a bunch of trenches dug in. And I'm sitting on one side with my sniper. There's another guy all the way on the other side, sitting in between this like forked tree, and I could just see his shoulders and his head.
Okay.
And I'm just shooting, and they're falling short. So I'm aiming higher and aiming higher, and they start looking like they're hitting him. And he didn't call anything. I was like, like I don't know. He's so fucking far away.
Right.
Then I just
Exactly.
kept going, and eventually he called it. I was like, man, it may have took me 12 shots, but that was a hell of a damn shot.
Your gun's like, I can't get any farther, okay? Like, dude.
It just happened to catch the breeze just right on the last one.
Yeah, a lot of times too, man, these mil sims, just so you know, like going forward, it is you, you, there are, yeah, there's definitely people that don't want to call their hits.
Yeah,
But uh also there's a lot of guys that are honorable that will call their hits, but
right.
they really legit don't hear it or feel it. So they've got
Yeah,
all their, they got their cool ass kit, they're totally kitted out, and they got this plate carrier on, they got the helmet, they got all this kind of shit. And if you're not really close where they can actually, or shoot them somewhere where they can
right.
feel it, uh, it's going to be difficult. They usually have to go by hearing it. Yeah.
And that's like, so I bought, before I did any research on sniping and all that stuff in airsoft. Well, I did a little, and everyone told me not to do it. I was like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna do it. But I ended up getting the .3 BBs,
There you go.
and I got like 2,000 of them,
Yeah.
which I don't shoot that often. So I'm still going through those same
It'll
2,000
last
pieces.
you a while. Yeah.
But I mean, it's my I bolt action sniper chronos at like 380 with the .3s, and I'm happy with them. I don't really, and they're cheaper than the .4s. It's like,
Yes.
but I mean, that far away, I could definitely understand someone not feeling that and
Yeah.
not calling it because they didn't want to, just not calling it because they didn't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, you're doing the right thing with going up in weight, because if you're going to snipe, you want to go up in weight. If you get a decent gun with decent hop up and all that stuff,
Yeah,
you can hop those heavier BBs where they'll fly straighter, farther, and hit with some kind of impact where the person 200 feet away is going to feel it and call it.
yeah,
So especially
or at
if you
least
shoot
hear
them in
it
the
like
face,
this.
okay? Like if they don't call it after shooting them twice in the chest, shoot them in the face.
Which I will say, like, I am all for the headshot.
A
I've
hundred
never gotten
percent.
one myself, but if
Yeah.
you don't want to get shot in the head, wear
Don't
the
peek your
fucking
head
face.
out
Right. And
and
get
wear
me
full
wrong.
protection.
It's like my face, I got the mesh one. It's got the
Yeah.
mesh on the front and the mesh over the ears, and I
Yep.
got goggles, and then I rock a bandana.
There you go.
Sure, I might get shot in the head, probably fucking hurt. Hasn't happened yet, but it will.
Yep.
But my face is protected.
There
I
you
don't
go.
care about anything else. Hit me in the head. Good shot.
There you go. There you go. No, dude. I'm telling you, these whiners that talk
Blows my
about
mind.
headshots, I'm like,
That blows my mind.
they're like, oh my God, he shot me in the head. I mean, why did he shoot me in the head? And then you see the video and the dude's standing behind a tree. You can't see any of
Right.
his body.
Yeah.
And then he peeks his head out. And I'm going, oh, you're seriously wondering why you got shot in the face? Like, duh.
The closest I ever got, we were again playing in the trenches at SU. We were playing capture the flag.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, they had these little foxholes dug. And there was this guy sitting down in the foxhole, and there were these two bushes like here and here, and all I could see was his neck up.
Yeah.
I wanted the headshot because all he's wearing is goggles. That's
Yeah.
it. So I'm gonna shoot this dude right in the dome. Because one, it's all I can see, and two,
Yeah.
I haven't got a headshot yet. But then I finally got a chance to shoot at him, and it dove and it hit him in the neck. I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I'm so happy I hit him, but god damn it, like I wanted to hit him right in the dome.
You didn't aim high enough. Kentucky
Yeah,
windage.
right.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it is so much fun to play, man. I can't wait to get the little man out there and just get that experience with him, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Now, did you grow up doing like hunting and learn how to shoot rifles and that kind of
A,
thing? Was
a little bit, not
okay.
not really too much. Um, I can shoot real steel. I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
I had, depending upon the stepdad I had at the time, we would go out and shoot, or the
Okay.
stepdad that was a dick, or like I did go elk hunting once.
Oh,
That was, I didn't bag an elk, but my stepdad did,
yeah.
and we went deer hunting and stuff, and a couple pistols here and there, but nothing to really have a lot of knowledge on it or anything like that.
Right.
Mostly grew up just camping, hiking, fishing,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But my brother, so my two oldest brothers, my oldest brother, he retired 8 years ago now, give or take, from the Coast Guard.
Okay.
He was Army first, met his wife, had a son, went Coast Guard, and he did some crazy shit in the Coast Guard. He thought he was
Dude,
switching for a family, and I was like, oh, okay.
holy shit. I'm telling you, man, me and two of my buddies were talking about the Coast Guard stuff.
I on the podcast,
Yes.
yes, I heard that one. And then,
Oh
but
my
my
God.
brother, he went over to Saudi Arabia to help them train a Coast Guard
Yeah.
for them. I would say, fucking wild, man.
Oh, it is and the weird thing is the majority of the general public
Hmm.
guys, right, that
Right,
talk about military, whatever, they don't consider them a branch of the military. And it's
right.
like they do the most wild shit, like way
Yeah.
more than we do. If you're
And
not on the front lines in combat, like in a regular unit in, yeah, or infantry or whatever, in Army and Marines and
right.
all this kind of stuff, the Coast Guard will outrun your ass every day on like
He told me
CQB
crazy
and
stories
weapons
about,
handling and I'm telling boarding ships. I mean,
yeah. So he was
bro,
stationed down in Key West, and he
yeah,
was telling me these stories about like Haitians and like all kinds
the
of different people
pirates, bro,
trying
they're
to like jump
everywhere.
onto the Coast Guard boats,
Hmm.
and allegedly. He said this dude went to jump onto his boat and he just lifted his foot, caught him right in the chest, and just kicked him right back. And the dude fell right back on his other boat. Like, god damn, bro. My brother's a badass. But
That is
he
awesome,
won't
man.
toot his own horn, so I'll toot it for him. But
Well, I want to
he was
ask you,
100% a badass.
when he went from the Army to that, did he think, did he know that the Coast Guard was going to be like that much in the shit
I
compared to
don't
the Army?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know 100% for
Okay.
sure on that.
Well, just
But
because
I don't think so.
he
'Cause
goes, okay, he's Army, he gets married, has a kid, and then goes Coast Guard. Like,
right.
okay, I'm gonna go Air Force. All right, it's a cushy job or whatever. And now he's like kicking pirates in the
Yeah,
chest
and then
and
like
like
while he was in the
risking
Coast
his
Guard, he
life.
started doing like special forces training for
Yeah,
them and like all this stuff. And
right.
he
Shout out to the
wanted,
fucking Coast Guard, man. They're
yeah,
fucking
it is awesome.
badass.
And
For
then
real.
my other brother, he's got a couple years left until he retires. So he's a sergeant first class in the Army.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he just got stationed in Kansas, so sucks to be that guy. But he's a Cab Scout.
Okay.
He's been a Cab Scout forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's moving up in rank, getting ready to retire in a couple of years. And
The cavalry. Yeah.
yeah, my dad was Navy. I believe his dad was Navy.
Okay.
I don't have any military myself,
Yeah.
but so
You didn't
sometimes I
have to.
wish
You learn from your brothers.
right? We actually my dad's 70th birthday. We all met up in Virginia, and we all built an AR. So I got
Whoa.
to learn a lot. Yeah, it was awesome.
So how did that come about? Like who ordered parts? Like what kind
So my dad got each one of us the lower.
of
I bet I may be saying this wrong. Still learning a lot.
that's fine. Yeah,
But he got
I
just
might
the
not know
lower.
either. I don't even know. Okay.
And then he's like, he got one for each of us. Because
Yeah.
backstory, we got together July 4th. I don't remember the years, a couple years ago, for the first time in 5 years.
Okay.
Us three brothers and my dad were in the same spot.
Dude, that's awesome.
So my dad each got us each a gift as a lower for the AR. And he's like, look, you guys can either build them or hold on to them. One day they'll be worth something.
Huh.
You guys decide.
That's cool.
And I didn't have one at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to build this. Got all the parts and everything. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
This shit might blow up in my face. Holy shit. I don't know.
So I took everything up to Virginia on my dad's 70th birthday.
Yeah.
And we all got together again. And my brother brought his tools. He's going to school. The one that's in the army still. He's going to school to actually learn how to build guns.
Like an armor.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual technical stuff for it, but
Yeah.
he's doing like a legit school, learning how to paint
Gunsmith and
them,
all that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got all kinds of tools and all that shit at his house, and he brought some of them with him, and we
Yeah.
put it together, and it was awesome, man. It was a good time.
Does he have one of these right here? Anyone watching the video, you can see.
I believe so.
Does that look familiar?
It does. I don't
This is
think he
called
brought it with me, but he's shown me a lot of his shit, and he's
this
got
is
a
one of
lot.
the basic, yeah. So it's a armorer's wrench and or
Okay.
armorer's tool, whatever. But yeah, it's very commonly used for building guns, whatever. That's
Yeah.
my son's, my oldest son.
Huh.
He built a 50 Beowulf, so it's pretty
Okay.
cool. Yeah, it's a 50 cal rifle, but it's the round is a special pistol round. So it's bigger than
Yeah.
the 50 AE that you would shoot out of a Desert Eagle,
Right.
pistol. Same diameter, obviously it's 50 caliber, but it's longer. So it's probably 2 inches long. The whole case, bullet,
Yeah.
and then and it shoots out of a rifle that's built on an AR frame. And it
No
looks
shit.
badass. Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah, I bet that's cool, man.
But it kicks the fuck out of your shoulder, okay?
Sure. Yeah, both my brothers are into gun, like real steel gun teching and all
Yeah.
that. My oldest brother's out in San Diego, California, so he's kind of limited on what he can have and all that stuff. But
Okay, yeah, right.
that was his dumb decision. So
You want to go to Commie Land? Deal with it, bitch. No guns.
his wife won that one, so it's
Yeah.
got to make him happy.
It's a beautiful place, man. I was stationed out there in
Yeah,
Pendleton.
and
It's
San
so
Diego's
pretty.
gorgeous, man.
It's so pretty. It's really terrible that that it got ruined. Like I was there in early 90s, so it wasn't effed up yet, but yeah.
Yeah, we've
It's
been out
still
there.
nice.
My wife didn't travel much when she was growing up, but she was
Okay.
pretty much in Virginia, between Virginia and Florida. Her
Yeah.
mom was in Virginia, her dad was in Florida. But I was able to take her to California when my brother retired from the Coast Guard. She was excited. She's finally been to both oceans and
Nice.
stuff. And yeah. And whereas me, like I moved all over the place as a kid.
Right. You're like, I don't want to travel anymore, okay?
Yeah.
And your wife's like, oh, I want to travel.
Come to
But dude, I'm in the same situation. My wife is like, I'm like, what do you want to do? And like all of our kids moved out and everything, they're all in their 20s. And they're moved out. And so it's just us here. And I'm like, what do you want to do with, I want to travel. I'm like, I traveled a lot, like in the military and stuff, and then so I'm like, okay, all right, well, yeah, we'll try.
So here's my thing with traveling.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go overseas. My wife
Yeah.
wants to go to Egypt. She wants to go to Scotland. She wants to which is awesome.
Yeah.
But she's never seen Mount Rushmore. She's never been to Mount St. Helens. She's never seen Devil's Peak in Wyoming. She's never
Yosemite National Park in Cali, bro.
Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
the Grand Canyon. Like, why don't
Yeah.
you see what's here?
Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about it. There's so much. Like as a kid, I got to go see the caves in Mount St. Helens. I've been to Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
Devil's Peak is where they filmed Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh shit. Right.
I went there with my grandparents and we got to watch that movie at Devil's Peak on a projector. Like drive-in style. It was awesome, man.
Oh shit, dude. That's crazy.
You can come.
That
You're
is
fine, baby.
wild.
That's the wife.
Okay. Hey there.
You said, hey, this is E-Rock. But yeah, man. But so nobody ever talks about it. No one's ever like, let's go to Big Sky, Montana, one of the most beautiful places
Right.
I've ever been in my life. Nobody talks about it. And
Isn't that
they'll
where
forget.
one of those shows that's recently in the last couple years, Kevin Costner and
Yosemite, I think it's called, right?
yeah, something like that.
I think
One
it's
of these shows have been
out
filmed
there.
out there
Yeah,
around Big Sky, whatever. It's
I
so
know I
pretty.
know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Oh man, it's beautiful out there. I learned how
Yeah.
to snowboard out there. Like
Oh shit.
man, it was awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. I remember as a kid snowboarding down the slopes, but as they were closing, so all the like orange lights were on and it's snowing and it's dark out and man, it was amazing.
Oh, that's cool,
Uh,
man.
but
I learned
including
how
that,
to
I gotta spend
snowboard.
$1,000 to go to Scotland or however, probably like 10,000 now.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, when I was growing up Northeast Ohio, we had giant snowstorms in
Yeah,
the area I was in. We got the what they called the lake effect snow from Lake Erie. So it
right.
was like perfect conditions coming off the water. And by the time it hit us, that cold wind, it might be freezing rain up there, but then by the time it hit us, it's like snowflakes the size of golf balls.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was nothing for us to get like 6 inches of snow in a few hours.
And you still went to
So
school, didn't
yeah. Oh, of course. Walking. Okay. You're walking to school. Nobody took the bus. Um, so, but yeah, I learned how to snowboard. I mean, we sled rided growing up. And then when
Right.
snowboarding became, I think I was a young teenager when I first saw somebody on the slope not a slope, uh, a tiny hill. All right.
Yeah.
At this little park that we were, um, but they had this thing. I was like, what the hell is that? Like, oh, this is a snowboard. I was like, okay. And I tried it. It was really cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was my only
So much
experience with
fun, man.
snowboarding. Yeah.
I never owned one. It was always a rental, but
Yeah.
man, it was fucking worth it. It was a blast.
You go a lot faster than the little sleds I was on.
Oh yes, very much so. Even when you're not trying to.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot harder to stop too, unless just fall over.
Yeah. But actually, yeah, I learned how to ski first,
Okay.
and then I started seeing all the cool kids on the snowboards and
Right.
being one of the cool kids.
For sure, man. Well, if you went, did you go, you had already been like skateboarding before that?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So you
But
went like Tony Hawk skateboarding to snowboarding. You're like, yeah, okay.
and then after that, I mean, and I was never like sponsor worthy or anything like that. It was a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah.
But after that, I had moved to Florida. My dad was living down there, so I moved in with my dad and met a friend whose dad owned a surf shop. I learned how to surf, and it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Got to do a lot of cool shit, but been to a lot of cool places. But I couldn't tell you who my best friend was in fifth grade or nothing like that. But
Sure.
it was cool, man.
Most of us can't. Like that's most of us don't have lifelong friends from that age, right?
No, I
It's
know.
yeah,
I was never in the
it's
same school very long, so
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
moved a lot.
right.
That's what I was getting at. Not
I
necessarily
Oh,
just fifth grade.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Well, no, it's like later in life, you get as we get older because when you're growing up, when you're like growing still, like
Yeah,
until you're like 21, even at 21, when I was 21 and I got married when I was 21, but I remember at 2021 I was thinking a 29-year-old was fucking old as shit, bro. Like you're
right.
about to die, dude. Like It's like
Like, careful
29.
picking that up,
I'm not even
man.
gonna see 29. What are you talking about? It's so weird, but yeah, to have be around people that my dad was in the Navy as well, and in the Korean War conflict, and his buddies, they were all Navy, Marine Corps, Army, and whatever. And they would, come over on the weekends when I was little and play cards and stuff. And I would hear these war stories and stuff.
Right.
And those to him were his lifelong friends. He had known him for like probably 10 years. He met him at work or at church or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of rare, man. It's rare to have a friend for a very long time, and
Oh
I
yeah,
have one of
definitely.
those rare relationships. One of the guys I was stationed with at Camp Pendleton when I came back from overseas, this guy Mike, he lives literally 10 minutes away from me right now in South Carolina. And
Nice.
I started out in Northeast Ohio. He's in Maine. We went in the Marine Corps. I went overseas. He never went overseas. We both got stationed at Camp Pendleton at this little tiny range called Edson Range. That's where we met. And after that, when we both got out at the same time, around the same time, within a couple months
Mhm.
of each other, went our separate ways. Back then there's no internet. We got out in 93. No cell phones where you can keep in touch. You had to call
Right.
your mom, your parents. Like you got your home phone number from your friends.
Right.
Like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
what's your number? Oh, it's your home phone number, and you just memorized
Yep.
it. And so I could still remember the number I grew up with, 928-6270.
No
Okay,
shit.
dude. I mean, when I was a kid, like in
Yeah,
Northeast
that's
Ohio.
wild.
And so that was my home phone. And so if you want to get in touch with somebody after the military, you called their moms because
Hmm.
their moms always kept track of where their sons are. So
Right.
you would call their home phone that they gave you. And so we kept in touch a little bit here and there through that. And then I would talk to my mom. Oh, Mike called and said, whatever. And then years later, when we moved down here, I posted, this is like, let's see, we moved here in 2007. So almost 20 years ago, 17, whatever years ago. And
Yeah.
I posted something on Facebook when Facebook was still fairly new. And Mike texted me and said, where are you? Because that water park, we took our kids to a water park. That water park looks familiar. And I was like, oh, over here. And he goes, that's 5 minutes from my house. And we
No
hadn't
shit.
talked in probably 8 years. Okay.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. So, but anyway, he and I have been lifelong friends. He just texted me today, but we hang out. It's very unusual though. It's very
Yeah.
rare to have a lifelong friend anymore. Yeah.
Well, I actually have, so the guys that I used to go kayaking with up in Virginia,
Yeah.
we all still keep in touch.
That's
And
awesome.
it's not super frequently or anything like that. One of them actually married my cousin.
Oh shit. Nice. Did you
Luckily,
introduce them?
no, actually.
Okay.
Um, they met at the bar we used to all go drinking at.
Mm.
But
Common place to
we
meet.
all still keep in touch, and one of my buddy Wes is actually about to get married. He's been with this girl for longer than I've known him, and I'm 37 now. I was 20, I think I was 20 years old when I met all of them.
Yeah.
2021, and yeah, I've got some. We
That's
still
good.
keep in touch, and I'm gonna go up there. He asked me to be a best man, not best man, groomsman at his
Yeah.
wedding,
Right.
and I'm excited. I'm happy for him. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. Now, how did you and your wife meet?
We actually met as roommates, believe it or not.
Okay.
Um, so my brother met his girlfriend, and they had moved in together. They're married now. Um, and I was young and dumb. I stopped paying rent at the house I was living at because I was drinking too much and spending all my money because I was, young 20-year-old making way too much money.
Yeah.
Just doing all kinds of dumb shit. I got evicted. Um, I needed a place to stay. My brother had a 2-bedroom apartment. He's like, bro, come stay with us and all that. I was like, all right, sounds good. Take you up on
Yeah.
that. And come to find out, his girlfriend at the time, her best friend also needed a place to stay, and they had promised her the room.
Mm.
she ended up coming up, and she ended up moving to Georgia, and then we talked on Facebook and stuff, and she came back, and we were roommates. We got drunk one night and shared a room every time.
Yep.
And we never, oddly enough, we never technically dated. We didn't go on our first date until like date until we were about, man, I don't know, 6, 7 months into knowing each other.
Whoa.
And then it was the worst date to this day I have ever been on in my life.
Now hold on. So you meet, okay. So you meet at this room,
Yeah.
or you know,
At the
at the
apartment.
house,
Yeah.
okay, the apartment. You hook up, right?
Yeah.
You get drunk and like, and then it's awesome, and
Yeah.
then you become like, okay, we're a thing. Like you want to hang out.
We were friends with benefits.
There you
For,
go. And so then, how did you? So what did you ask her out? Like, you know,
yeah. So
officially, like, okay, let's
my
go on
my
a date.
brother re-enlisted.
Yeah.
So he moved out of the apartment. I moved in with my uncle and my cousin. She moved in with her brother. And then about a week after that, I was like, you know what? I talked to my cousin about it. Like, all right, I'm just gonna ask her out. Asked her out. We went to Applebee's because that small town there wasn't a lot.
Sure.
Um, so we go to Applebee's. Now she grew up here in this town.
Okay.
She knows everybody that is
Right.
around her age. All these fucking dudes start walking in and they're all talking to her.
From
And
high school.
I'm sitting on the other side of the booth, like, this is fucking awful. Like, give me a beer. Like, it's fucking awful.
Oh
Worst date
no.
I have ever been on in my life.
So when you're sitting there trying to talk to her, all these people are coming in. These guys are coming in
Yeah.
talking to her.
And she was mad at me at the time for not pursuing this earlier. So she's like feeding into it and all this
Right,
shit.
right.
And then
Oh shit, dude.
after that, kept talking to her. I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
dude, push it. And we eventually ended up getting this basement apartment together. After that, we were boyfriend, girlfriend. And then, fuck, after, man, we married about a year after knowing each other.
Yeah.
We got married, and here we are, 4 kids, and 14 years later, and still
Good for
pushing
you,
on.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an odd story, but it worked.
Yeah, it works, dude. I mean, it's yeah, good.
Yeah, when we first met, man, we would just stay up all night drinking and doing dumb shit. We would play card games and just drink, just the two of us, because
Yeah.
nobody else was there. My brother was acting like an old ass fucking man, so he
Going
just
to
went
bed
to
early.
bed. He used to come out and yell at us. He's like, "It's fucking time for bed." And we're like, "Get the fuck out of
Oh
here."
my God. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but another part of that story, my wife and my brother's wife, they actually grew up together. They've known each other since kindergarten.
Damn.
They were best friends
Okay.
when my brother and I met them, and my brother married her friend, and then I married the wife, and still we're all four still rolling.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
That is cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's wild how some of that stuff
yeah,
works out.
randomly falls together somehow.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. And look, man, it's girls, like when you first start getting together with them, I was the same way, you know, like what you said, you didn't ask her out soon enough for her,
Right.
you know, as
Yeah,
and I'm guessing you probably wanted to, but
I did. But
yeah,
also during that time, like we were just friends, so that
yeah.
we were both going out and talking to different people, and
Mm,
so it was. She wanted it, but she didn't think I did. So, and I didn't think she did. You know how it fucking goes.
very common, man. It's
Just
very
standing there
common.
being dumb.
Yeah, and it's yeah. I wish there was a way to kind of get over that. Like, hey, can we just talk about this? Like, just talk openly. You know,
Yeah,
like, how do you feel?
and that's really that. I mean, that's your best shot. Like,
Yeah, it's
hey, this is what I want. What do you want?
yep, yep. And but it also kind of takes away specialness of this, like, oh, nervousness you get around that
Right.
person, you know, when you have that chemistry with somebody. Because there was a few girls I dated before I got with my wife that was, you know, I was not nervous to ask them out,
Right.
not at all. Like, let's go hang out, or it was spontaneous, you know, happened at a party, you know, we're sitting in the back seat somewhere and
Yeah.
making out, you know, like that was the thing, you know. So it was very comfortable. You didn't have to be, you didn't have to step outside your comfort zone to, you know, I never got butterflies
Okay.
asking, you know, or talking to these girls or whatever, until I met my wife. And I was 17 when I met her, you know, we met in high
Okay.
school and stuff. So in 1987, but I didn't ask her out until 2 years later. So I met her in this one specific class in our junior year. Well, not 2 years later. I guess it was a year later. And then our senior year, uh, it was getting close to the end of the year, and school's about to be out. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta ask her for her number, you know. But and that was the last probably 2 months or month or whatever before our graduation of our, you know, senior
Okay.
year. So and that was 1989, but we actually met in a class in 1987. And, but I was like, just being close to her, like sitting next to her in the class,
Yeah.
there was this, and we talked, you know, never touched, like, you know, like intimately or nothing, like hugs or nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just, there was a chemistry there that I did not have with these other girls. And I was like, okay,
And that's
that's
the shit that makes
something.
it tough.
Yeah, that's what made me nervous. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what makes
"Ooh,
it tough.
why am I nervous right now? Like, holy shit!" So, yeah, on our first date, I went home and told my dad, "That's the one. I'm gonna marry that girl," and then we did. You know,
Yeah.
so it didn't take long. My friends tried to convince me to not get married, but I was like, "Nope, doing it."
My dad actually questioned it because I never called him and was like, Dad, this is it. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna marry her. I just called him one day and I was like, Dad, I'm getting married. He's
Oh
like,
shit.
what the fuck are you doing, Sonny?
So he didn't.
He's
Did he
like,
know any of your like your relationship with her or
yeah,
not?
and he had met her and stuff, and
Okay.
he knew of her, but
Okay.
he just,
He didn't know
but
you
my
guys were
family is like,
serious.
we have kind of a weird dynamic. Um, like, I went a few years without seeing my dad, talking to him, which was
Yeah,
mostly just me being a young jackass, thinking I was smarter than him.
that's what we all do, Rick. That's what we
Yeah,
all do.
but then like my oldest brother, there was probably well over a decade. I never talked to him, never saw him. And then my other brother probably wasn't as long, but it was close. But every time we get together, it's like we just picked up a conversation from yesterday.
Yeah,
And it's always been that way. So like sharing that kind of stuff isn't like with the family isn't really natural to me. Like, hey dad, I want to get married. Like this is the
yeah,
girl. Help me out here. What do I do? It's just like I want to get married. I'm gonna get married. We're gonna make this work. And it was tough. Like we just fucking yeah, similar to you, man. Like we were broke. I was working 2, 3 jobs with the twins, so the wife would stay at home.
hmm,
Because if she paid for childcare, there'd be no point in her working because the whole
yep,
check can't fucking go there. So it's
no.
like,
And by the way, you know, who's raising your kid, or what are they
right,
teaching them? You know?
exactly.
Yeah,
And like if we could together make that opportunity for them to be with their mom that
yep.
whole time, that's life changing.
It really is.
Huge. So
It's such a big thing that uh, a lot of younger people today in their 20s that are thinking about having kids, or you know, just now starting a family, whatever, they probably don't think that it's that big of a deal.
right.
It is. I'm telling you, anyone, and I'm taking a second here to say it because of our society right now that is
Yeah.
so against the nucleus of you know, the family, right? The
Yeah.
family unit.
Yep.
And they feel like, I know a lot of younger people, women, you know, mothers, that are new mothers, they feel this pressure that they have to go have a career
Yeah.
instead of be a stay-at-home mom. Like it's like degrading society has made it like a degrading thing to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm telling you, it is hugely important for your children to be with them in those forming years. I'm talking from 0 to 10, okay, maybe
Oh yeah,
12,
yeah.
right? 0 to 10 to 12, like, please, I'm not telling you what to do, but please make the decision and make the sacrifice to be at home with your kids. You
But
don't need the extra car. You don't need the extra vacations. You don't, your kids will not remember that
I will
stuff.
say on the flip side of that, the dads need to start making this shit happen.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
you don't have to have a woman that has a career. Let them be at home, step up, make it work, make it happen.
Yes. Yeah. Men go out there and work,
Yeah,
man. Like,
make the
don't
sacrifice just like she's going to, and make it work.
100%. You go, you both put 100% into your relationship. Okay. It's not 50-50. It is, I know that's just a saying, you know, I'm not putting
Yeah,
it down or nothing, but put your all your effort into making that family work. When you have a child, you know, make it work for the benefit of the child.
absolutely.
And, you know, it is, and I'm telling you, when we first had our first one, you know, you lose a lot of this freedom, because when it's just you and your wife, you go, oh, okay, you know, what do you want to do, man? You like, you got a partner to hang out with now, you
Right.
know,
Yep.
and you can have sex, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, so you go out, you know, oh, where do you want to go this weekend? What do you want to do here? You know, and so you do all this stuff, and then she gets pregnant, you have the, you know, the baby, and like, oh, you want to go out to dinner? That, oh, I gotta, oh, okay, and then you start realizing how long it takes to take care of, you know, get the baby ready to go out. And you're like, oh, he took a shit again. Okay. And he blew out his diaper. So all his clothes are effed. So you're like,
Yep.
okay, well, another hour. All right. What can I do to help?
Or
So
that happens in the car on the way there, and you're like, son of a bitch.
I guess we're getting drive through, bitch. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's like it really is
Roll
a
the windows down.
huge, it's a huge, it's a huge transition
Oh yeah.
and adjustment to go from just your, you know, you're being married to having a child. Uh, but
And I'll admit it, man. I learned that the hard way
yeah,
because I was real stubborn. I was like, I'm working this much. I am gonna go see my friends. I'm gonna go hiking with my buddies. I'm gonna
yeah,
go on these trips. I'm gonna do this. And I didn't realize my wife and I fought a lot in
yeah,
the beginning of our relationship, partially due to me. Like I
yeah.
know.
Me and my
But
wife did too.
it took me a lot to realize like I may be the one working, but she's honestly working harder and doing more than I am, even with the two jobs.
Mm,
What she's doing at home, I haven't done laundry in over a fucking decade. It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
But, mostly because she won't let me do it. But
Yeah,
she does so much shit, man. She's a fucking chef. She's an accountant. She's a fucking housemaid. You know what I mean? Not
yeah.
sorry, ladies. I don't mean she's a maid, but you know what
No,
I
it's
mean.
a, yeah, a housewife. I
She
mean,
does everything.
that's
Like
not a bad word,
she
and
makes
you know, it
dinners.
shouldn't
She
be.
makes
It shouldn't be.
like,
Yeah.
it's awesome, and it took me a while to realize it. And I kind of kicked myself a few times for that, but
I
we
mean,
we
that's a
got there.
learning process, but I'm
Yeah,
sure you learned the bottom line, and when you have a relationship, it is, and I think a lot of guys growing up now are a little confused about how to treat a lady. Like, they don't know how to be a gentleman.
yeah,
And so they either go full on douchebag, like show me your tits kind of thing, or
right,
right, like they don't know how to talk to a woman, or full on pussy, which is like, um uh, uh sure, like they can't make a decision. Like,
yep,
dude, girls don't want either of those. Okay,
right.
be yourself and be a gentleman. So get the courage to ask him out on a date, clean yourself up, make your breath smell good. Okay, brush your teeth. All right,
Yeah,
quit being a lazy ass. You know, shave and all the old school stuff of
I tell
being
my
a
daughters all the
gentleman and
time,
treating like a lady,
and I tell my
which
daughters
is
all the time,
respect.
don't ever bring me a guy who can't tell the difference between a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. If they don't know a fucking tool, then
Yes,
you cannot have them.
I love it.
They cannot have them. Not allowed.
I love it. I love it. So, the old school video or pictures or whatever, the old guy sitting on the front porch with a shotgun, and the girl brings the boyfriend up, so now yours is like you're sitting on the front porch with a Phillips and a flathead screwdriver, like, all right, bitch, what you
What do
got?
you use these for?
You know what? It it is funny, but it's sad because that is so true, man. We
I
had
know.
when I was flipping houses a few years ago, one of the guys we had, that my buddy, that he was trying to get us some extra people to help with
Mhm.
this project we were doing. So he found this guy on Facebook that had all this stuff listed. He could do this and this and whatever. So we bring him in, and we were hanging joists. We had to rip out a bunch of the floor joists and stuff. And so we were hanging joist hangers,
Okay.
So uh those metal hangers with the pre-drilled holes in them where you
Yeah.
screw them in or nail them, and so I hand him a drill. There's a box of screws right here. I showed him what to do. He would click the drill, like, he did not know how to use an impact
Really?
with a Phillips head fitting, okay, with regular, like, no, they weren't Phillips. They were, yeah, they were Phillips. But he did not know how to use an impact drill.
What was he doing?
Yeah, no. So the drill, let's say the screws here
Mhm.
on an angle, okay, 45-degree angle.
Right.
He puts the drill head on it, and it's like this, like twisted down, twisted to the side, twisted this side. It's not straight on, right? It's not parallel.
Right.
So and instead of starting out, like how it's a variable trigger, right? It
Right.
starts out slow, whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that grip on there, he just mashes the trigger completely, and he's not pushing on the
He was just
drill, so
stripping
it
the
just
shit
goes.
out of all the screws.
So he tore up my first drill bit. So the drill bit itself will wear out faster than your screws. Typically, when you're doing framing and stuff, if you do have to do some kind of screws in your house,
Mhm.
they'll wear out faster than your screws, and it's made like that on purpose so that you don't accidentally drill your screw in, and then
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, and then it screws up, and then you can't get it back out. Okay. Um, so anyway, so he screwed up one of them, and then I gave him another one, and they screwed up that one. I was like, bro, and I'm teaching him as he's doing it. But yeah, it's not common, dude. It used to be common
Yeah.
that guys would know how to do this kind of stuff. And I'm not talking using impact, but just the basic mechanics of putting a screwdriver head, and I'm using my fingers. Anyone that's just listening, I'm using my fingers as what do you call it? A visual.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like putting your screwdriver head completely parallel into it where it seats. And so yeah, he didn't know. And I said, well, I'm gonna teach you. So I took him out of there because we were we were standing in between, our feet are on the ground underneath the house where
Right.
the crawl space is. So we climbed up out of there, and I put this piece of scrap wood up here, and I gave him a whole box of screws. These are 1.25 inch drywall screws, the easiest frickin' screws you can drill into wood because they're super sharp point,
Yeah.
right? Drywall screws are, and they're very hard. And the heads, the Phillips screwdriver head on them is
Mhm.
really super easy to fit your Phillips screwdriver into. So anyway, so I had him up there, and I was like, here, do this until you get it right. I'm not kidding, man. I'm really sorry to say it was like 20 minutes. He still could not get it.
That's insane.
And I thought, oh, okay, well, he's maybe one of those guys that just is not mechanically inclined, you know? So I
Yeah.
kind of felt bad for him, but I was like, bro, I did feel bad for him because he really wanted to learn. He was
Okay.
embarrassed, like his face turned red, he was sweating,
Wow.
and I felt bad for him. He just never had anyone to teach him. And I had a guy that I worked in a factory with that was 23. His dad never taught him how to read a tape measure.
Really?
And it was really important in his job to know your all your like 16ths, eighths, okay.
Cool.
And he didn't know how to read the tape measure, and he kept messing up the cores we had to cut for these plastic rolls or whatever. So and finally, after a couple of days, we were like, bro, why are you throwing away all these fucking cores, man? Like, he's like, oh, I just, you know, he kept making excuses. And we finally, there was like 4 of us. We're like, dude, what the fuck? You know, and he's like, I can't read a tape measure. He was blurted out. And I said, holy shit. Well, let's teach you. And he learned
Yeah.
he learned in 5 minutes, for real. So it is, yeah, there's a lot of guys that are just missing this common stuff that maybe you and I grew up with. Maybe your brothers taught you stuff, you know. My
Yeah.
dad taught me a lot of stuff. But there's a real need for dads being involved in their kids, teaching them stuff
100%.
like that.
Like
For
just
real.
the simple basic, you know, how to put a screw into a piece of wood. That's all you need to know. And you can fix
Yeah.
a lot of things in your life just by knowing that.
Now, did your daughter bring home a boyfriend that was smart,
So
common sense?
fortunately, she brought home one boyfriend, and he knew that stuff, but he
Okay.
he eventually. So she goes, super proud of this girl, man. She's smartest smartest girl I've ever met in my life. She goes to the TCC program, which is called the College Center.
Mm.
She's already graduated high school and everything. She's 17, but she's finishing it out. She's in her senior year, but she's going to graduate this year with her associate's degree and her high school diploma at 17.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's insane, man. She's already taken college classes at Midlands Tech. She's pushing really, really hard to get into USC, and like
Oh shit.
she just bought her first car.
Oh, nice. What'd she get?
Yeah, it's Jeep 2019 Jeep Compass, I believe.
A Jeep?
She bought it. Yeah.
If she puts a duck in it, I'm disowning you right now.
It's not my Jeep. I've never owned a Jeep. Don't ever want a Jeep. I got you, baby. But yeah, I am not a Jeep guy. She
Have you
will
seen
probably
those?
put a duck in it.
This
Yeah, she
phenomenon that's
will
going on
probably
with
put a
these
duck in it.
all these ducks in the Jeep.
You think she already did? Hmm. Wife said she already did.
Oh shit.
Her youngest sister
Done.
gave
We're
her a
ending
duck.
this podcast now. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh, Oddly enough, the wife does need to get some rest. I wanted to do this upstairs because I have shitty internet and I want to make sure the laptop is plugged into the router. But
Oh,
I
you're
do.
in your room. Yeah, you're good,
Yeah.
dude. No, let's wrap it up. Tell everybody where they can find all your cool stuff. It's on X. Yeah, you
It's
got
not that interesting. All I have is the X. It's what is it? The at
Smithers Airsoft.
yeah, at Smithers Airsoft.
Yeah, I know because I got it pulled up right now. So
Yeah, I'll be adding more pictures as I go along, and I get the little man out there with me and all that good stuff. And there'll be more. Probably no
awesome, dude.
videos because I'm not taking the time to record anything.
No,
But
you're good, bro.
there'll
You're
be
good.
pictures.
Yeah, pictures are great, man. Yeah,
Um,
it's been awesome meeting you, man. I appreciate you
I gotta
taking the
say,
time.
it's pretty fucking wild, man. Like I never, you're the second podcast I ever listened to in my life.
Oh
Uh,
shit. What was the first one?
Gorilla Airsoft.
Dude, I
And
love
then
those guys.
I realized they were all the way out in California. I was
Yep.
like, gotta be something closer. And I found you, and you were in South Carolina right here with me. So I was like, started listening to you, and I don't listen to any other podcasts. I'm not a big podcast guy.
Okay.
So new to podcast, new to airsoft, new to all of it, and never thought I would be on a fucking podcast.
I know when you and I were texting back and forth on X, when I asked you to be on,
Yeah,
and then you came back with some kind of like, well, I don't really, I'm new to airsoft. I don't really play, blah, 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 blah. I don't do that much. And then I said, well, how, I can't remember what I said about being on or whatever, and you were like, holy shit, you're serious. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go.
But it's like all these guys you talk to, you know, some of them been playing airsoft since they were kids. Some
Yeah.
of them started later in life, but they got businesses, and you got the cherub guys that are making all that badass shit. And
Fucking
like
yeah, dude.
I've never seen their foo bar thing, whatever the hell they call
Oh,
it. But it
dude, it's
sounds
fucking
fucking
awesome.
awesome.
Okay, tell your wife to hold on for 1 second. I gotta
All
show you this, dude. I'm
right.
serious. I gotta show you this. I'm gonna share the screen and show you because the fupa is
That's what it is. Fupa.
badass. Yeah, the fupa. So it says Fight Club on it, and oh, here we are, right here, actually. Let me share the screen and show you because this is how I met them. Was at a Stonebreaker a few years ago, and I saw this car pull up. Let me see where the fupa is. Okay. See right here?
Yeah, no shit.
So it's a police car, Challenger or
Right.
whatever, Charger or whatever, that they put all this fucking extra gear on, dude, and they painted it like this.
That's fucking
So it
awesome.
says Fight Club on the side. It says Fight Club on the hood. Got all kind of extra lights on it. I
Yeah.
forget in the podcast, I think the first podcast I did with him when he talks about it, it has, I don't know how many,
Yeah,
10,000
all kinds of shit in there.
lights. You see this
But,
minigun on the
but
top.
I never heard him say it was a Charger. I just heard him say it was an old police car, and I was
Yeah.
honestly picturing like a Blues Brothers fucking police car with a little
Yeah.
minigun on top. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
that's fucking man, awesome.
Right. Yeah,
But
this thing is, well, they enhance the suspension for the extra weight. This thing
it's
is
awesome.
fucking badass. And the inside of the car, well, now that you know where these guys are, if you go and look at, actually, if you just go look at my podcast, if you have a chance to go just search the video of Jax, this guy right here with all the tattoos. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Cherub. This is who started Cherub Milsim. This is Rooster. I've had him on as well.
Okay.
But Jax, I had him on first. This is like
He
a
looks like
year
a
and a
real
half
nice
ago.
guy.
These guys are badass. Okay. This dude with the beard, he was special forces in the army. Okay.
Okay.
And Jax, he's been to prison. He's a he's a good dude. Okay.
Yeah. I fucking.
He really is. But he will fuck you up if you get, you know what I'm
I
saying?
believe
Like, um, but he's a real patriot, honestly, for like American patriot. He's big into like when COVID hit, he
it.
owns a tattoo shop and they tried to shut him down. They arrested him in North Carolina for keeping his tattoo shop open
No shit.
when COVID was going on. They arrested him and he was like, yeah, man. So yeah, badass dude. But
Hell yeah.
anyway, yeah, if you go look at our podcast that we did, the first one, I can't remember the number, but Jax, Jax, if you search that on my channel,
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'll definitely look
there
into
you go. Yeah, go look at it. Halfway through or partway through, I have all these different pictures and videos of his car inside and out. So
Okay.
it's really cool. Yeah. So you'll have a good time looking at that. But
Hey,
man,
so
appreciate you.
before we hop off here, do you still you guys still sell like trifecta patches and stuff?
I do. So I have some patches left. I haven't bought patches in a while,
I didn't
but
think so, but
yeah,
I was on the podcast. I was like, it'd be really cool to get a fucking trifecta patch. So if you had them on your website still, I think it was that I
I
maybe
don't.
saw them. No?
No, I don't because I couldn't keep up with the inventory. Like
Oh, okay.
they got really expensive after
Yeah.
COVID. So before COVID, we would order 100 patches. It'd be like around $200 or less.
Okay.
And then after COVID or during COVID, it was like 100, the same patches, no changes. It was $450.
Jesus.
And my channel, like all this, all
Mm-hmm.
the, wherever I put this out on, is not making money. So
Right.
YouTube demonetized all this shit. And and the podcast itself doesn't get a lot of hits and all that kind of stuff. So and that's fine. I don't care. Like I'm not
Right.
worried about it. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but it doesn't really fund a huge patch thing anymore. So,
Yeah, no, I
and I
got
gave
you.
one
That
to, like,
makes sense.
but I'm gonna send you one, man. I want to send you
Serious,
one,
bro?
and no, for real, I want to send you one and a handwritten letter that I used to do for everybody.
No shit,
And
that'd be awesome.
yeah, dude, you're brand new into airsoft, and it's been awesome. So uh, yeah, it's been great, dude.
But and real quick, shout out to the weekend benders,
There
guys
you
I
go.
play with that at SQ. Looking forward to September. It's gonna be a great time.
Awesome, man. I'll have your X link in here, and I'll actually put the SQ link in here as well, because that was the first Milsim my guys went to. So, my boys. So great
Yeah,
field.
oh yeah, yeah,
Awesome,
it's a
man.
lot of fun, man. Love it out there.
Well, I'll have you on again in you know, next year, early next year or something, after you've done
Whenever.
some events. And
Hey,
yeah.
I'm happy I could be part of getting you to 400 this year, man.
Oh, thank you so much,
Yeah,
dude.
that's awesome.
I appreciate it. It was great
Oh
talking
yeah.
with you, man. Good to meet you. And
Thanks.
yeah, take care, bro.
Take care, man. Thank you.